Listen, when we have things going on around the NFL, we like to bring on experts, guys who have done it, who have been in the game, guys like Herm Edwards from ESPN. And Herm, it's good to have you back on the show. I got to ask you, what the hell is going on with all these teams saying they don't want to talk to Lamar Jackson? I don't understand it, Herm. What do you make of it?
Well, you know, when this all came out yesterday, I was a little bit puzzled. I can't recall when free agency started, and that's supposed to start Monday, that even before it started, a guy like Lamar Jackson is being talked about as we're not in. And I'm like, really? Is this a new league? I don't understand, especially in the NFC South. You know, you look at the NFC South, and I said 2 days ago, I was on and I said, look, and the clubhouse leader right now is the Saints. They got Carr. They got a quarterback. So we know all these other teams are probably looking for a quarterback. And then now of them, they're saying, well, no, we're not in. So that means that obviously they're going to draft a quarterback.
The thing is, Herm, I guess I've read a lot of things saying that maybe the owners are pushing back because they hated that Jimmy Haslam gave the kind of contract he did to Deshaun Watson. And I mean, I don't want to say collusion yet, but, man, it looks fishy. And let me ask you this. Should Lamar have an agent? Would that have made any difference in this whole situation? Well,
I think it wouldn't have become personal because the agent is always the buffer, right? And the agent can go out and visit with the market. Can you imagine a player trying to do his own contract in today's world? He doesn't know all the GMs. He doesn't know all the people that are involved when it comes to a contract. Baltimore, he does. But trying to go somewhere else and trying to feel the pulse of what other teams are looking at and talking to those people, he doesn't have those connections. And so if you sit in there and all of a sudden it becomes personal, and let's just say for Baltimore's sake, they say, look, we're not guaranteeing you a contract. There's only been one in the league. And by the way, in the last 2 seasons, you've missed 5 games. You missed 10 games in the last 2 years when we were trying to make a playoff run. You don't travel with the team in December to go to Cincinnati with us. All these things start coming up in these meetings, and you take it personal.
Yeah, it's and it has become personal. Herm, I said both sides are dug in. That's part of the problem here as to why they didn't get a deal done over the last 25 months. Herm Edwards joining us here on Dukes and Bell. We're talking all things NFL, Lamar front and center because of all the things that have happened here over the last 24 hours. But as we talk about, the Falcons, I want to get your opinions on our team. What do you think about what the Falcons are? Because part of the issue for me, Herm, is you go get a guy like this, and it creates a buzz and excitement that this team hasn't had in many, many years. And it's something that the team and the city is lacking right now, which is what's bugging me about this.
Well, not only do you get him, you let him wear number 7. And you know who wore number 7 the last time they was down there?
Yes, sir.
That was that Mike Vick fella, right? You want to give him a buzz? and actually, if you sign him, have Michael Vick at the signing date giving him the jersey.
Yes. Let's make something of it.
Yeah, I mean, Herm, we got some nice pieces. But as you as a head coach for all those years, Desmond Ridder started a ton of games at Cincinnati. He's a 3rd rounder. If he's a 1st rounder, it's different. But is 4 games enough to know what you got?
No.
Nope.
No. Look. It really, you know, the quarterback position in 4 games, you can't tell a whole lot. I mean, look, we're talking about the kid coming out of Florida, right?
Right.
And he's only played basically 13 starts.
Right.
And we know he's raw. He's a talented guy. Obviously, he checks all the boxes as far as talent-wise. But when you turn the tape on, he's a raw player. I mean, and you know. The problem with the quarterback position is this, guys. You know this. He plays with the ball. That affects your whole team. What he does with the ball, the decisions he makes with the ball, right? That's the position, and this is why the position is always overpaid. Because when you have a quarterback, you can set your team. Now your team is set. Now you can go get pieces, but the big piece is the quarterback.
Atlanta. Did you hear that?
Yep.
The big piece is the quarterback. It's Herm Edwards.
And they're probably going to try to get one in the draft, right? We know that. The Falcons are going to be sitting there, and they're going to try to get a quarterback in the draft. There's some young quarterbacks that are coming out that will be terrific. But here again, you start a rookie quarterback, get ready because it's going to be tough.
It is.
By the way, the Bryce Young stuff, as we're talking to Herm Edwards, guys, 10 years in the league, coach coaching college, coaching the pros. Do you feel the Bryce Young thing is the size thing is one thing if you can move like a guy like Kyler Murray, but he's truly a pocket passer. We compare him to a guy like Drew Brees. Nice comparison. But do you think it's much to do about nothing, his size?
No, size, some people will shy away from it. I'm not saying he's not a good player. But at the end of the day, do you want a 5'10" quarterback that weighs 195 pounds? You got to ask yourself that. And it's okay. If you're okay with it, Anthony Richardson is 6'4", he's 240. And he runs 4.4. Or do you want a 5'10" guy that's a good player? He's a good player, boy. He's terrific. Some people say, well, I heard somebody say, well, he's like Steph Curry. I said, yeah, but Steph Curry plays basketball.
That's true. He doesn't get hit. He
don't play. And in basketball, when you're the stars now, I watch basketball. When those guys drive to the lane, they don't knock them down anymore. Back in the 70s and 80s, the guys are on the floor. You go into the paint. They don't do that anymore in basketball, right? But when you look at it, I said, I get that. Look, there is no doubt what that kid did at Alabama. I recruited him when he came out of high school, and he's a fabulous guy. And he's a good player. But the question will be with some teams, yeah, he's a first-round talent, but he's 5'10", he weighs 195 pounds. No, I want a bigger quarterback. And that's okay.
Was that your rule when you were in the league and coaching? Did you have a rule where certain positions, if you didn't fit the stature, I'm not going after you?
That's exactly right. And that doesn't make you wrong. That doesn't make you right. How do you want to build your team? What does it look like? That's what you got to ask yourself. And the quarterback, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Mm-hmm. Look, if the guy's a winner, he can win. He can do all that. I'm not saying he might light it up and be a Pro Bowl guy. But the thing you're always going to have to wonder is this. If it doesn't work out, you drafted a 5'10" quarterback. And that's what people will say.
Right.
Right? If you draft a 6'4" quarterback and it doesn't work out, well, you're the big athlete, didn't work out. But if you draft a 5'10" guy, right?
It covers your
draft
butt.
a 5'10" guy, everybody's looking at you like, hey, man, is this thing going to work?
Hey, man, right? It is Herm Edwards, man. We always love getting Herm on the show. And that's the thing about Anthony Richardson. You touched on his lack of experience, tremendously inconsistent, but you look at the guy's size and you're like, wow, I mean, this dude can be running over people as opposed to what you just talked about Bryce Young.
Yeah, and Bryce Young is polished. He's got a lot of poise. Look, he played in the SEC. I get it. I understand all that. I'm not taking anything away from this young man. He's going to get drafted in the first round. But everybody's going to watch and going to look the next 4 years. How is he playing? Is he in the league? Has he been injured? These quarterbacks now, I mean, you got big people on the other side of the ball that can run fast. They're big, man. You look at some of these linebackers and some of these defensive ends and linemen now. I mean, guys, they're running 4.6, weighing 315 pounds. I'm like, what is this? It's a different league than it was 20 years ago.